Looks like we got it fixed. We'll see. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for April 11th. April 11th is the 101st day in the Gregorian calendar, 102nd in leap years, with 264 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is prodigal. Prodigal can be an adjective or a noun. As an adjective, prodigal means characterized by profuse or wasteful expenditure, lavish, such as a prodigal feast. As a noun, prodigal means one who spends or gives lavishly or foolishly, or one who has returned after an absence. The word prodigal comes to us from Latin. First known use as an adjective is in the 1400s and as a noun in the 1500s. Prodigal. And with that, this is the birthday of English surgeon, apothecary, geologist, paleontologist, and political activist James Parkinson, born April 11, 1755. His interests transitioned from medicine to paleontology and geology, and he authored a good number of papers on various subjects, one being a document called An Essay on the Shaking Palsy in 1817 about a shaking disorder that later came to be called Parkinson's disease, named after him. In addition to Parkinson's, there are other tremor disorders such as essential tremors, and Parkinson did distinguish between resting tremors and tremors with motion. The Holidays and Observances section for April 11th says this is World Parkinson's Day, although when you click that link, it simply takes you to the biography page about James Parkinson. So it appears that World Parkinson's Day is meant to recognize and honor the observations of James Parkinson. He lived to the age of 69. Now, 8-bit processors were developed in the 1970s, and they were instrumental in making today's consumer computers and gaming equipment possible. You had such brands as Intel, Atari, Commodore, Motorola, RCA, Nintendo, and today's subject, Apple, creating devices using 8-bit processors. And I've only named the brands that I recognize. There were many more. Other than that, I'm talking over my head here with all that 8-bit talk, but it is that on April 11th, 1976, the Apple I computer was released. Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs had formed a company. They sold personal items to raise money to finance operations to produce these computers and sell them. Steve Wozniak demonstrated the first prototype later that year to the Homebrew Computer Club in Palo Alto, California. They introduced the Apple II computer less than a year later, but that may be a story for another day. Let me pause for a moment here to say that there are other episodes for April 11 that I've done in previous years, and I'll add links to those in case you want to see them. Today's song is Let It Be by the Beatles, written by Paul McCartney and credited to the Lennon-McCartney partnership. The single version of this song was released in March of 1970. Let It Be is also the title track on an album of the same name, but the versions are slightly different from each other. Inspiration for this song came from a dream that Paul had while the band was going through difficult times, which ultimately led to their breakup. In this dream, his late mother, Mary Patricia McCartney, came to visit with him, and in some tellings, he says that in the dream she told him, "It'll be all right, just let it be." Goosebumps. When people have asked him if Mother Mary in the song refers to Mary, the mother of Jesus, Paul McCartney typically replies that listeners are free to interpret the song as they wish. Let It Be by the Beatles hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on April 11th, 1970, where it remained for 2 weeks. Link in the description. Alrighty. I'm so pleased that it appears that maybe we'll see. But I've got this video clip recorded, and if I can use it, I will. And if not, I don't know what to say. All right, here we go. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Getter. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I could think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Do not disturb.
Okay, I turned Do Not Disturb on.
Good job. Third time better be a charm. Did I say 19th? It's not the 19th yet. One more time. Attracting. Just read the whole thing over. Are you making some sound? Get on out of here. Yeah, we're gonna edit that out. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.